You'll have to excuse my appearance just a little bit. I just got off an airplane like 2 hours ago. Just got home from a wonderful 4-day trip out to see my best friend and just play some video games. And boy, do I have some revelations I've made. I took with me 4 gaming consoles on this trip. Yes, you heard me correctly. 4 gaming consoles, which to some might sound excessive. And I'm going to be honest with you, it is. That's very excessive. There's no reason why I should have brought 4, especially the 4 that I brought. I brought my Xbox Series S with an X screen by Upspec Gaming. That was awesome. Basically having a little gaming laptop that's better than any gaming laptop for, I guess it would be $500. I brought the Anbernic RG35XX Plus. I brought a Nintendo Switch. And finally, I brought my Steam Deck. The Steam Deck was the one I was expecting to play quite a bit because I wanted to finish Crisis Core because today is the release day of Final Fantasy Rebirth. Well, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I mean, the original intent of that trip was actually to record episodes for Bash Bros. The reason why I say original intent of that trip was, I'm going to be honest with you, not a 1 episode was recorded. And that was because I got to sit next to my friend and we played video games together the whole trip. I can't tell you the last time that I was given an opportunity to play extended story-based games next to a friend of mine. It was incredible. It was such a special moment. And I was using my Steam Deck for the majority of it. And by majority, I only say that because we played a couple rounds of Fortnite, which was the reason why I brought my Series S. I'm going to be honest, I was intending on playing more Fortnite than I did. And I know that his son and wife were expecting to play more rounds of Fortnite than we did, but alas, it didn't happen. I was so impressed with the experience I had on the Steam Deck. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I knew that it was going to be a good one, and the game I was playing wasn't incredibly demanding. I mean, Crisis Core doesn't require a lot of resources. Let's just be honest. It's a game that came out for PSP. Yes, they redid it, and they made it better, but it doesn't require a lot of resources. It'd be one thing if I was saying I was playing Elden Ring on high settings and getting 60 frames per second, which you can't do at high, but you can do on low to medium. And I got to see a lot of side-by-side between the Steam Deck, matte glass one, whatever, the anti-glare, and mine, which I was supposed to take pictures. Because I was so completely entranced in my gaming experience with my Steam Deck. You see, when I got the Steam Deck the first time, dudes, I didn't enjoy the experience all that much. It felt clunky. In fact, I was kind of clouded and blinded by my unwavering and very, very, for some reason, narrow-minded gaming preference. I have, for the majority of my gaming life, been a huge Nintendo fan. I still am a huge Nintendo fan, and I'll go to my gaming grave saying that Nintendo has some of, if not the best games that have ever been created. I love Nintendo games. I can't believe I'm saying this, but this trip with the Steam Deck solidified the future of what I really am starting to enjoy. I had this moment upon completing Crisis Core, which is an incredible game. For any of you who haven't played Crisis Core or Final Fantasy Reunion, play it. It's unbelievable. But I had this moment upon completing Crisis Core where I realized that my adoration and frankly fan-manness for certain consoles, PlayStation, Nintendo, whatever it may be, had completely clouded, see what I did there, clouded what a style of gaming that I never experienced, which was PC gaming. And the Steam Deck is meant to be the entrance into PC gaming in Steam. And it certainly does a great job at that. I had the Lenovo Legion Go for a very short amount of time, And in that time, I realized that the UI and the experience that you get from that is just not as easy as I need my gaming experiences to be. You see, when I was at my friend's house, he has 2 kids, wife, lots of family coming in and out of the house. There's a lot of people there. And so the thought of him and I posting up and locking ourselves in his office where he has his heavier duty gaming setup, which is Xbox Series X, as well as his gaming PC and, whatever portable he wants. Both he and I could have locked ourselves in there and got after some pretty good gaming, but chose not to. He had gotten his Steam Deck the day I arrived and set it up, and we sat on the couch in the midst of his family, his wife, his kids running in and out, and got to play games while being interrupted and asked, hey, can we do this? Can we do that? And both he and I would pause, put it down, and say, yeah, let's do it. The first game he booted up and we played together was Halo 2 on the couch, independently on our own Steam Decks, enjoying that moment. We didn't go back to it because he is trying to finish Final Fantasy VII Integrate, and I was elbows deep and then very much so up to my neck in Crisis Core. I ended up playing through 10 hours of Crisis Core in 3 days and beating it and getting to the end, which was a very spectacular moment. Man, what a freaking game that was. I tell you, I would have never done that if I didn't have something like the Steam Deck. Now, I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, well, Crisis Core is available on the Nintendo Switch. You're absolutely correct, but not at the immersive level that I got to play it. It was played at high graphics, looked great, but the real kicker for me that I didn't realize was such a big deal until I started playing Steam Deck for 2, 3, 4 hours at a time, which I'm never going to be able to do again, was the controller aspect of things. The Steam Deck itself has a full controller. They are not small little thumbsticks. They are not just tiny micro-sized little Joy-Cons. They are full-size controllers. The thing is big. I think the Steam Deck looks ugly personally, which is exciting because I don't feel so bad throwing a grip case on it, which I have some on order, and I purchased them myself because I was going to reach out to the company, but I thought, no, I'm just going to buy it myself. I don't mind putting a grip case on it. I don't mind putting thumb risers on it. I don't mind doing any of that stuff because I just think that the Steam Deck as it stands is a pretty ugly machine, especially when you put it up against something like the Nintendo Switch, which I'm looking at over there. I think the Nintendo Switch is the sexiest piece of gaming machinery that we've ever gotten. Sleek, awesome, but it's uncomfortable and it requires extra controllers. And even with something like, I don't know, the Satisfy Zen Grip Ronins, which I think is the best grips out there, you still have to deal with the thumbstick situation. So you end up having to swap out your Joy-Cons, and then they're not powered if you're using the wrong way. There's just a lot. There's a lot. And so that is that. Plus, I'm not confident purchasing games. If you are, great, let me know. But I'm not confident purchasing games this late in the life cycle. We know something's coming out soon. And so why would I want to purchase games that might get locked there and I can't switch around and do that kind of thing? So I decided that I'm going to use the Steam Deck. Well, on this trip, the revelation I had was maybe I've grown out of a lot of the aspects of my Nintendo experience that I thought were tied to Nintendo. First and foremost, I know that a lot, if not all of the indies available on a Switch are available on Steam. That's pretty evident. I mean, in most cases, those indies that come to the Nintendo Switch have already been on Steam, so that's something that I never really thought of until this past week. Another thing is ways to play. I'm able to play games at just a far better frame rate and visual fidelity, I guess. The graphics look better, which I've historically said have not been important to me, but cranking down the settings on a game so you can get 90 frames per second in a handheld device almost feels like you're cheating death. I wasn't playing Crisis Core at 90 frames because I did want the textures, so I locked it at 60, which it maintained, dropped maybe 1 or 2 frames here and there, but it maintained 60 frames. If I kept it open-ended, it would fluctuate between, I'd say, high 70s to mid 60s, and sometimes, again, dropping down low if you're spinning around in some crazy populated place. That was crazy for me. And so it made the gaming experience very, very fluid. All of the things that the Nintendo Switch brought to the table, the Steam Deck can do, and does better just because the power there. Now the power is able to be better because of a few things. One, there's more space to put bigger parts. Easy peasy. But I tell you, the feeling I had was one that I haven't experienced since I was a teen. Holding a game and just being like, oh, I can't believe I'm playing this game here. Tears of the Kingdom gave me elements of that. It's so big. There's so much to do. It's so grand. But it still had its moments where it chugged and it had some issues with frames, whatever it may be. That's fine. There's no reason why that should be a problem. But this past weekend taught me that it's okay to let certain things go and be excited about other things. As someone who has been a hardcore Nintendo fan my whole life, I finally feel like I should be able to say, and I'm going to, that I really prefer at this point in my gaming life playing games on something like a Steam Deck. It just runs games better. And the games that I want to play are over there. More intense games, something that maybe feels more my age. Again, I'm not saying that if you play Nintendo games, you're a baby. Because I play Nintendo games. Heck, one of the greatest hidden gems of the Nintendo Switch that I didn't know existed until more recently is Yoshi in the Crafted World, I think is what it's called. Is that what it's called? Yoshi's Crafted World. That certainly isn't made for 35-year-old bearded dudes like me. But I can tell you that I love every moment of it. I know people are like, you can emulate your games on... No, I'm not doing that. I'm just playing games that I can buy. And the customization that exists, startup screens, this, that, and the other, while I think all that stuff is quite superfluous, it's not really that big of a deal, does give you an element of personalization. And for someone who gaming is a partial, if not very little bit, but still a partial identity, I do enjoy the fact that I can customize things, change a thing here and there, make a keyboard look a certain way. It does make me feel like I have something that is mine. And it just was such a wild ride. There was countless times where both Chase and I looked at each other laughing, giggling even, and being like, I can't believe I'm doing this. And that is something that I know I needed. I was so burnt out these past couple of months. This trip was phenomenal. It was meant to be a work trip, and upon arrival, I decided that it was going to be therapy, essentially. I spent all of Saturday through end of night Tuesday, because I flew first thing in the morning Wednesday, hanging out, taking deep breaths, long pauses, and just enjoying my hobby with my friend. No critical thought process behind it, no review so I have to pay attention, no cups even filmed like I planned, not an episode of the podcast recorded, and not a responsibility fulfilled intentionally, so that I could take a step back and really enjoy this hobby that I have given to you guys, honestly, with this channel. And what I learned through that experience, through the window that I was looking through, which was the Steam Deck, is that I, as a gamer, had tied a lot of my gaming identity to what I was using. While I criticized PlayStation and Xbox people for their ludicrous alignment with brands that don't care for them, I was guilty of it on a very, very similar scale. I wasn't saying Nintendo was better. I wasn't saying that if you don't play Nintendo, you don't know what you're talking about. But internally, I was telling myself that Nintendo is the best thing ever. And my excitement for video games really can only come from them, because they are who started me down this road, and I have, shared it with my father, which is very special to me. What I didn't know what was happening was I was aligning myself with a certain brand and holding on to it so firmly and so tightly that I wasn't allowing myself to enjoy the very thing that I thought I was protecting, video games. Because I had locked myself behind the red door, because I had convinced myself that the best of the best only comes from Nintendo, I looked at other options like the Steam Deck a couple years ago, or different ways to play, and thought, it's just less than, and it's not worth my time. Not until this most recent iteration of the Steam Deck, and then this past week of me playing it, have I realized I have been missing out on a tremendous gaming experience simply because I had convinced myself that the best way to play was from a certain company. I don't want it to sound like I'm saying the best way to play is from the Steam Deck, but I do want to be clear that right now, if you're to ask me, where are you playing your games and how are you playing your games and where are you going to buy your games, if I can play it on the Steam Deck, I will play it there. And if it's not on the Steam Deck, unless it is on something like a PlayStation 5 or that's it, I'm probably not going to play it. Not because I don't want to play Xbox games, but because I don't want to sit in my office and be bound to this place if I don't have to. This point in my life, I need and I want to be as present everywhere for my family as possible while maintaining this hobby. And though the very game I want to play and I'm going to play to death, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, is only available to me on PlayStation 5, even though it is going to be gorgeous and amazing on the PlayStation 5, I would buy it for the Steam Deck and play it on there even if I can't get more than 30 frames because of the portability. I am a father who plays video games, not a gamer who has kids. And that is through and through the most important thing to me. And I am slightly bummed because I know that my gaming experience with something like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is not going to be as consistent and continuous as it could be if it was on something like the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck proved to me that as a dad, I can still play video games and be present, which is so important to me. And Nintendo started that for me. It said, hey, let's try the hybrid thing. I don't know what Nintendo has in the future, and I'm very excited for it because if it's portable, I will get it. If Nintendo creates a device that is not portable, I'm going to get it because I need to play the next Mario and Zelda games. I love those franchises. But I'll tell you what, I probably won't use it that often. The Steam Deck has become not only a daily driver, but a looked forward to experience for me. And I never thought that'd be the case. It makes me excited to build a Steam library. It makes me excited to learn all the intricacies of this, and it makes me even more excited for the portable PC market that we have just started these past couple of years. I think that for those dads out there that are looking for a way to maintain their hobby and also be present, flexible location gaming is the way to do it because it allows you to do this anywhere and everywhere and anywhere in between. And so looking into something like the Asus ROG Ally, the Steam Deck, the Legion Go, or maybe even the Nintendo Switch is probably the best way to go about it. I can't recommend something like the Portal or the LG, the Cloud, the Legion, not Legion, the Logitech G Cloud, because of how hard you are tied to the internet. I mean, I sat in my plane ride and played the Pixel remaster. No internet needed, no bandwidth needed, nothing needed really. Final Fantasy 1 requires nothing, but it was awesome. It's such a special device. And this past trip taught me a lot about myself through gaming. And so, I have a challenge for you, if you will. I want you to look at your gaming setup, and I want you to think to yourself, am I tied to what I play? Am I loyal to what I play? Or am I enjoying what I play? You can be both, I guess, maybe. But I think it's important to look at what you do, which is play video games, and take a little bit of inventory and think, am I playing this because I am a blank gamer? Or am I playing this because I enjoy video games? And if you don't play it because you enjoy video games and you find yourself being a Nintendo only, Xbox, whatever it may be, I challenge you to remove yourself from that. Because looking at video games through the lenses of the platforms is so limiting. When there are so many different ways to play, but most of all, there's so many games to play. And at the end of the day, we need to play more games. And it doesn't matter what it comes on. It just matters what is going to get you to do that. For me, The Steam Deck is the absolute perfect device to allow me to do what I want to do, which is play more video games. It's there for me. And I have the confidence that with a device like that, the games I purchase will be around for a long time. If this was the first month of the next gen Nintendo system, I'm gonna be honest, actually, no, I wouldn't feel the same. Because the flexibility still isn't there like it is with the Steam Deck. I think the Steam Deck ruined me. Or made me better. Depends on how you look at it. I can't believe I'm here. This is not me saying, bye-bye Nintendo. That's stupid. I love Nintendo. Got Nintendo stuff everywhere. All it's saying is, I was wrong yet again. I paid too much attention to who made it and not what it was. So, take it easy. I'm exhausted. I'm going to go play me some Final Fantasy VII Rebirth demo. Well, that's because today is yesterday. And then maybe we'll get some Rebirth on a stream. Can't make any promises because I want to spend more time with my family. All right, guys. You guys read? Happy gaming.